Since I was a kid, I've been fascinated by stories. Not just the what, but the how. How lives change. How moments unfold. I realize the answers, they aren't always in books, but they're with people too. That's why we started this show, to uncover the extraordinary in the everyday, one story at a time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to ACTV Storytellers. This is a show where we chronicle the lives of fellow Anderson Countyans who have made a positive and lasting impact in our community and beyond. This is our 12th and final episode of our first season. And for our December show, we would like to welcome to the Storyteller stage Jenky Walker and Mollie Farrar. There we go. Two sisters who, along with their family, have made a huge impact in our community. Welcome to the Storyteller stage. I'm excited to have you guys here.
Thank you. We're excited to be here.
And I want to tell you, even though this won't air till January, we did our initial meet and greet, and all. We started this process in December, and you guys, and it's not even close, win the best interview setting of anyone we've ever interviewed. It was in the front of your all store, in the front window, Christmas decorations everywhere. We were sitting in this high table chair, and I was watching people walk up and down the street doing Christmas shopping. Got to meet your dad, who was exceptionally cool, baseball guy. Got to meet your daughter, who was one of the most polite human beings that you could ever encounter. So it was a very pleasant experience. Some people I've interviewed in cars, restaurants, some of them in their homes, some of them on the phone. You guys get that award for what that's worth.
Woohoo! It's worth a lot. It is worth a lot. Thanks.
It's very pretty. I might want to book that so we could just take other people there and just,
a lot of cool things happen in that window. So
I bet so.
You're in good company.
Yeah.
Well, I feel honored that I got to interview you both there. Well, let's jump into this, because right out of the gate, I found out something about you two that I did not know. So we'll get right into that. Because even for me, you guys are always associated with Clinton, but that's not where it started for you guys. You guys grew up not in Clinton, so talk about that a little bit.
Well, we did grow up in Clinton, but where we laid our head at night was in Norris. So our home was on Dairy Pond, beautiful street in Norris. We had a great house. We loved it there, but we did everything in Clinton. So our parents worked in Clinton, both of them. And so we just kind of bypassed everything else and came to school here and spent our nights in Norris.
Yep.
So
we loved it. We loved growing up in Norris, but Jenky's right. I mean, I always wanted to be at Riverside.
I know, me too. Yeah.
Norris is this beautiful little idyllic small town. Well, Clinton it had everything we wanted. So
which was our friends.
Was our friends and just everything. So, when you wanted to have Halloween or whatever, we always wanted to go to our friend's house on Riverside. Still haven't gotten to live on Riverside yet, but it's on the list.
You guys are both young. There's still time.
Sure.
There's time.
Yeah, there's time.
So you kind of knew people, though, from, the Norris community where you lived and then the Clinton community where you functioned. I mean, that kind of opened relationships up to you for friends on both sides, right?
We did, yes.
And that was a good thing, I guess.
It was a great thing. I mean, it feels like a very small community, and you'd walk and you'd do all the things that you would do in Clinton, but we enjoyed it. I remember Mom and Dad, when we were older, they would leave us at home, but not old enough to drive. And in Norris, there's not a whole lot. So I don't know if you remember this, but I didn't have a driver's license, and Mom's car was there, and we drove it to Archer's.
Well, we're getting straight into this story.
I mean,
well, that's the only thing that's
pull
exciting.
Those skeletons right out of the closet.
For a skeleton.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom, but did you ride with me?
No, I did not ride with you. Maybe I did.
I think you did. And we drove. I was 15, so I mean, but drove down to Archer's to the grocery store. So most of the times we did not stay home. We came in with Mom and Dad during the summers and hung out at the store, hung out with friends, and.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit, because you guys are kind of iconic with that drugstore. I mean, was it 95? Is that what it was? Mm-hmm. 95 here recently that you guys, 95 years?
Yep.
Yes.
That you guys celebrated the store. Talk about your family's influence on you growing up, kind of, as kids, and also kind of the work ethic because that place is. I mean, people come here, and I mean, I've experienced it. Like after a meeting at central office or something, they're like, "Can we go to Hoskins get something to eat?" And I was like, "Sure." Talk about that.
You go ahead. You start.
Okay. Well, anybody that has a family business, especially as old as ours, it's just part of your family. And so I guess you don't realize it until you get much older about how cool that is. So I think we said this earlier in the interview, we were often stranded at the drugstore. And that was not always a bad thing, but we would, from a small age, we would walk over from the elementary school. And I guess we expected to be picked up there for a while, but it didn't dawn on us how close we actually were, that we could just walk across the street. So we would go there after school. We would be... Go ahead.
I mean, we didn't realize, Jenky's right, we didn't realize what a blessing it was, I think, until, you're older. But growing up in it, it is just what you do. You go to the store. I mean, we were old enough to walk. We were old enough to stock candy. So, it wasn't like you went there and you sat. I mean, if there was something that we were capable of doing, we did it. And you didn't really necessarily get paid for it either. Do you remember the time there was a huge snow in elementary school, when we were in elementary school? And I remember it just being a huge snow. And you would think that you would just hunker down and you would be home. But Mom and Dad were getting the car out, and it was a sedan. I don't remember what kind of car it was, but it was not like a four-wheel drive anything. And we were getting the car out with Mom and Dad and to go to work. Mom had to get to the store. And all other kids got to have a snow day. And we loved it. We got to go to Clinton, so I'm sure we did get to run into friends. But you had to be at work. People needed oxygen. People needed prescriptions. People needed food. And that still hasn't changed to this day. So that certainly affected how we work and how we, operate. And it's just something normal. Has to be done.
Yeah, it was never anything it was never a conversation about, well, this is how you work. This is how.
This is my expectation
for
you.
Right. It was just how we were raised. It was just how it was.
Yeah.
And I imagine that's had an impact on you guys.
It continues today.
Yeah. Well, I know you went to school in Clinton City. You went to Clinton. I think one went to middle, one went to junior high, and then we won't differentiate between that. But and then Clinton High School because your parents were working here, and it was easier for you guys to be.
Yes.
So talk about what kind of influence those schools had on you guys as you were growing up.
Well, Clinton Elementary School still is and was just a great place. I mean, it was it felt small and safe,
warm, kind people that it was obvious that they really wanted to be there. The teachers were just amazing. I could name all of my teachers through elementary school and say that about all of them, including Mr. Morrow, who walked the halls, and you could hear him with that paddle in his hand.
He did have a big paddle, but that was just for show.
I don't think it was
ever used.
Gary Luckett, remember?
Yep, I remember Gary Luckett.
Great principal.
I remember. So Janet Stroud, she was my third grade teacher. I guess she was your third grade teacher.
I was about to tell probably the same story.
Well, I don't know if you wouldn't have told this one, but I remember we were watching they rolled in the television.
Mm-hmm.
You'd watch, what was it, Channel 1? Is that what it used to be called?
Yeah.
And but that's what the TVs are for. But at this time, they had rolled them in, and we were watching the Challenger. And and I'm so glad I was in Miss Stroud's class, because she was a stellar teacher, and we've seen her not too long ago at the store, which is really neat. But the Challenger exploded, and you're third graders, and you're watching, and you don't really understand what happened. And I remember her leaving the room, and you could hear the teachers outside the room, and it's still so sad. But the way they handled that, and you're in a small school, it was sad, but it was handled so appropriately for the situation.
My Janet Stroud story is Mom would not go out of town very often because she had to work, but maybe she had gone to market or something for the store. Oh, it was Girl State, yes. Girl State. And I had very long hair, and of course, our dad didn't know how to do our hair, but he would send a hairbrush in my backpack to school, and
She did both
Miss
of our-
Stroud would
yeah.
do our hair whenever our mom was out of town.
Well, that's super kind.
Like that was normal.
Like that was a normal thing that teachers do. I mean,
I bet you.
They did there.
I'm just going to step out on a limb here, and I bet y'all weren't the only people's hair she
guarantee
No.
we were not.
She knew exactly what she was doing, so we weren't the first for sure.
So when you got in high school, as sisters, your focus kind of changed a little bit. Jenky, you went one way. Mollie, you went another. So what extracurricular paths did you guys take?
Well, hers is much more exciting, so you tell.
No, yours is
You
actually
were
much
much
more
more-
interesting. Well, I played basketball. I loved every second of it. I played through Clinton Junior High and then Clinton High School. I was the first freshman class at Clinton High School, which was formerly Clinton Senior High School. And basketball came, and we had the brand new coach, Shelly Sexton, was
Yeah.
our basketball coach, which was just the coolest thing in the whole world.
Who's been one of our guests on the show?
Yes, and the amount of I can't even tell you. Even someone that just plays a high school sport and knows they're not going to go on and play further, still the lessons that you learn and the influence that ball team had on my life, and Shelly especially, it was just. I hope that everyone has the opportunity to have that experience because it was special. But that was really my extracurricular.
Yep.
Molly.
It was even fun when Shelly came to coach. I mean, it was exciting. I mean, she was a lady ball. So
Yeah.
I just that time in high school, watching them play, and that was pretty exciting. But
I will tell one story on her. You all can choose to keep this or edit it or not.
Or edit it out.
You
Uh-oh.
might need to call Shelly and ask her permission. But she was straight from Pat. And so she was hardcore. She was 22 years old. We were so close in age, but she meant business, and she was going to turn the ball team around. And so I think this was probably her second year, probably not the first year because that would have been too terrifying. But we had done something. Well, our parents had gotten together, and they had raised all this money. We had these beautiful new locker rooms. Like, it was a whole... there was a lot of pride and a lot of money put into the program. Well, we had done something that was... must have been terrible. I don't remember what it was, but she was very disappointed in us. She took our locker room away from us, and then that practice, that afternoon, she put black paper on all the windows where you couldn't see into the gym, so no one could see out and no one could see in. She pulled the trash cans out into the middle of the gym, and we had a old-fashioned gut check that none of us had ever experienced before in our lives.
Which now would probably get you fired.
Oh, it
you
would
know?
totally
it's
get
like,
fired. Shelly, I appreciate you if you're listening. That a lot of lessons learned from that day, and
that's why I didn't play basketball.
And that's why Molly didn't play basketball.
Also, was not talented. Couldn't play. But
well, and Shelly did tell me when we spoke that the way she coached when she started, she couldn't coach like that
no
now.
way. No.
And how she's changed her approach.
Yes.
But I can tell you from growing up with Shelly, just playing pickup games around town, she doesn't lose well. I mean, her attention,
No.
whether you're just picking up to play for fun
Yeah.
or whether you're playing for a national championship, her intention is not to lose, and she doesn't mind letting you know that.
Yes.
Which is why she's been successful.
It's why she's been successful. And now at an older age, we're great friends. I so appreciate that time in school. I have a lot of great memories from high school, but hers is definitely at the top of my list.
Now, you did not go sports. You
No.
went a totally different
I
direction.
did go a different direction. I loved 4-H. I started in 4th grade, and I showed sheep, which is probably not something you hear very often. but man, I loved it. It was my time with Dad, and Dad's just fantastic, and he would love whatever we chose to do. But he spent a lot of time with Jenky playing basketball, and so my time with him was captured with showing sheep, which means you put the halter on the sheep. And we did live in Norris. We had a large front yard. Thank goodness. But we didn't live on a farm. I mean, it was a neighborhood. But so we would halter the sheep and we would walk around the front yard. And anyway, but
So you had sheep in your front yard
yes.
in Norris?
yes.
Interesting.
That's a word.
Yeah. Did that ever make the Norris Bulletin? I bet it had
Probably.
to.
Yeah, might
You know,
have.
If there was ever
probably.
loose sheep running around in Dairy Pond, people knew where to bring them.
Yeah. Yep. And it was fun. I did that until I graduated, and I was sad when it was over. But so you go around to the shows, and a lot of great people in the 4-H program here in Clinton. So I have to give a lot of props to them. Joe Hall being one of them, he was great. And so yeah, that's what I did. And I rowed in high school. I did row. We didn't have a rowing team, but I did enjoy that, and I did that a little bit later on too. So,
Okay. Well, as sisters, we just got to jump in. I mean, you guys have some interesting names in your family. And I think most of those are inherited by the females, since there's a wide number of females.
Yes.
So, what happened there? I mean, where did some of the names come from?
Jenky obviously has to answer that question.
Obviously, I will take that question. It started with our mom, Dudley, and I guess she started the tradition, or her parents did. Her father went by Dudley because...
That was his nickname in the school play for Dudley Doolittle, right?
And so R.C.
Or
Hoskins...
Dudley Do-Right.
Dudley Do-Right.
Yes, was our grandfather, and but he went by Dudley. His friends called him Dudley his life. And so when Mom was born, she was probably going to be Dudley, whether she was a girl or a boy. And in his eyes, she was going to be a boy because all he was going to have were boys, because someone had to carry out the family business, and that was obviously going to be his sons. And he had 4 daughters.
Yeah.
And we're here 95 years later, which I think is fantastic. But she was named after him. It's her given name. And then I guess when she had children, I was going to be named after our dad, who went by Jinx or Jenky when he was young. I was given his name. And then the big joke is, and then there was Mollie. Like, how does that happen? I mean,
And that's also confusing because I'm named after my Aunt Mollie, and still to this day, people think we are one person. And
well, when I first called
Yes.
you,
Yeah.
I got the two of you confused, and Jinky was like,
let me
sort this out, know? And I was like, oh, okay.
so I go by Molly M in my family, and she used to go by Big Molly, which was not fair. So we just got rid of that. And so
I can imagine she would not like that.
So it was always the case for years. But so I go by Molly M. But then my daughters are Birdie Grace, which is who you met.
Yes.
And Birdie is our dad's mom, Birdie Bostick. And so she Bertie, not Bidie. And then Macy Jane, which that one's pretty normal, but that was my husband's grandmother's name.
Yeah.
But Jenky has 2 original names too. for her
Yes, and
girls.
so my oldest, her name is Raleigh Jack. Raleigh as in North Carolina, but after Rolland was our grandfather, RC, so kind of a play on that. And then Jack was my husband's father's name, and so she has 2 very original names too.
So it seems like it basically was just a tradition.
It's a tradition.
Of family names. And unfortunately for, I guess, the first generation, they wanted boys, but they
Yes.
got girls.
Yes.
And you guys got the names of the fathers,
Yes.
more or less.
Yes.
Interesting.
It does. It makes you, you have to live up to your name. When you have a different name, you have to be used to, you have to explain yourself on a daily basis.
She does. Jenky.
And so you have to develop a personality around that, which I guess I'm thankful for that.
Kind of the Johnny Cash song, Boy Named Sue. I mean,
Yes.
like if you
Yes.
name a boy named Sue,
Yes.
he's going to have to be tough.
Yes.
Yes.
So I guess you guys had to get tough.
Yeah.
Yes.
She did.
So, growing up as sisters, how was your relationship growing up? And now that you guys are in business together, how did that develop? How did that change?
Well, we're sisters and we're close in age. And so growing up, we did the typical sister thing. We fought, like 2 girls do growing up, but we loved each other.
We fought, but it was short. It was very short. Like we would fight, and then I remember one time when Jenky left for UT, she loaded up the car with what I felt like were all my clothes, and we just had a horrible fight. And then she drives off, and she didn't make it down the end of Dairy Pond before she was coming back, and we were like, so sorry. I don't know if we ever said sorry, but
Yes.
it would be more like, here you go, or I don't know if apologies ever come out, but
Well, that had to make your all's parents very happy, right? I mean, that's pretty cool.
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, we also were raised. We famously, anyone that's a Gen Xer likes to famously claim that they're a Gen Xer, right? So we were we were raised differently than a lot, and so I mean, we had very present parents. I don't mean to say that, but we were also kind of raised.
She took care of a lot of things for me. I mean,
Yes, typical.
she didn't
older,
raise me, but she was very much a very active older sister.
Yes,
She was very participated in all the things.
very
So,
present.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we were, we had, Dad had sisters, and he was a great brother. You have all these people in your life that you kind of see and you watch and but it's never okay to not get along and be together. And I mean, that's just not going to happen.
And that's carried on from childhood until now. And
Yeah.
yes, adults still do fight.
Yep.
Adult sisters still do have disagreements,
Yep.
but also we still make up very quickly and move on.
Well, and if somebody says something against her, or vice versa, you just stand up and you're ready to fight. I mean, it's just,
I'm going to make
don't
a note.
think that
Don't say
ever-
anything.
within reason. But,
And I will say, our daughters, so I have 2 daughters and she has 2 daughters, and all 4 of them think that we are crazy
Yes,
at times.
1000%.
They just sit back and watch us like, I think as they're getting older, they're understanding the dynamic, and I hope that they are wishful that their relationships turn out like ours. But
Yeah. That's the expectation.
but we are, what do we like to say that we are? We are a spectacle.
We're a spectacle. Like we recognize that we are a spectacle. We're loud. We are opinionated. I hope people think we're kind, but we're silly, And so when you're just a bunch of girls together, we're together all the time. So when we're not at work, we're together at mom and dad's, or we're and when Raleigh Jack was born, she had to go to the drove home. I don't know. We drove to her house from the hospital. Raleigh Jack was the first grandbaby. Mom and Dad were there, and I was there, of course, with Jenky. And a picture frame fell and hit her, Raleigh Jack, right on the head. And new
The
baby,
baby?
The baby.
new baby,
The new
just,
baby.
Oh, my.
The new baby.
just came home from the hospital, and we all of us get in one car and go to the doctor's office with Raleigh Jack, and we wouldn't have it any other way, because
that's
I wouldn't know any other way.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's just the way it is.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I
She's
didn't
fine.
know that.
She made it out
She's fine.
Good.
It was-
good.
She
No
recovered
stitch.
well.
Good,
Yes.
good. Well, I want to tell y'all, I mean, like, you can tell a lot about folks, and not everything, because kids are kids, but you can tell a lot about people by their kids. And our 3 or 4 minute conversation with your daughter when we were, man, I mean, she made direct eye contact with me. She shook my hand. She was very respectful, very kind. I mean, in 3 minutes, she made quite an impression on me. I mean, I remember, turning and looking at you, and I was like, man, y'all did something right. I mean, she was a great kid.
I do appreciate that, and we do have great kids, and I'm very proud of all of them. I have to say though, because when we were talking about these questions and how your life is affected by the elementary school and people that you're surrounded by, my girls were so greatly impacted by South Clinton Elementary School and Miss Joy and Miss Brenda, and they got to go to be a part of that preschool program. And a lot of her skills that she has now, both of the girls, were things that she taught them. And then that Miss Joy and Miss Brenda taught us as parents on how to. But also, my husband's a Marine. So he
doesn't suffer foolishness lightly, I would imagine.
And does not suffer fools at all. And yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. That's how it's going to be.
Yeah.
When we spoke with you earlier, I realized later that we both failed to mention our husbands, and
Oh, yeah.
and we both.
Oh, yeah, there's those guys.
We both have amazing spouses, and to say that they are present and have been present in everything that our girls do is an understatement. They have been very hands-on, and then they also have to be a special breed to watch their wives go off and
That's funny. I just was thinking that same thing.
do life together. Their wives are together all the time, and they just. And they're okay with that.
Yeah. Well, and it goes to Mom and to our Aunt Mollie, too. I mean, our dad and our Uncle Rick, I mean, I don't know how they put up with us.
I guess they just came to terms that this is the way, part of the deal.
Well, they just embrace it. They're
we
just
didn't
like, let's
term
go.
it until recently, but truly a spectacle. And when all of us get together, that would be a fun podcast for you.
That would be scary.
It'd be scary. But there's not just one strong personality. Everyone has a strong personality, and it's just something to behold.
Yeah.
So when you guys were kids, what was your natural role inclinations? Like, where did you guys drop? Like, was one of you outgoing and one of you more reserved, or what were you as kids? What were your natural roles with each other?
We were both outgoing, but she was the defender. Like she stood up for anything wrong, or I don't know how to say it in a very in a positive way. She just she did not suffer. She does not suffer fools well, but she also does not like injustice. I think that's the word,
okay,
right?
yes,
I'm trying to find
yes.
the words to say that.
Or another way to say it is, from a young age until now, I start here.
Oh yeah.
And Mollie starts here.
Yeah.
And she can get me here quickly, and thankfully, and it's hard to get her riled up. But she has the ability to, bring me down a little bit.
I like that. I too don't like it when I feel like something's wrong or somebody's being treated unjustly. Gets my hackles up.
I know.
It's like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
My wife, I think my wife says
That's a sign of a good
I don't know
friend.
if you do this, but my wife kind of says I'm an Enneagram 8.
Okay.
For whatever, if you do the Enneagram thing, my wife says that I'm an 8, and apparently 8s don't like injustice.
Okay.
at all.
She's
So-
an
I
8.
too am an 8.
So, since we're kind of talking about agreements and disagreements and sisterhood, how do you guys work that out business-wise when you have disagreements about things?
Well,
We really don't. We
disagree on.
We don't.
Can't think of. I mean, there might be a flower that you pick out that I don't like, but I mean, again, we're not saving lives on our side of the business, but I think we just work through things.
We do, and we do have very similar. Our homes are very different. We have different styles in the way that we choose to decorate our homes. Again, we're not saving lives, but we do. I think we just work towards a common.
Yeah, I think we'll talk things out. We'll hash things out. It'll be a back and forth for a few minutes if we have different ideas, and eventually, not one of us wins out. I mean, it's just more than the other.
The end of the
Just
conversation always ends in.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay,
and
great.
we're very blessed in that we're able to come to those conclusions and business wise. I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you finished high school at Clinton, both of you at different times decided to go to the University of Tennessee. Why UT?
Was there another school to go to?
That's what I wanted to hear right there.
Go Vols.
That's the answer.
I don't think it was ever even up for discussion. That's just where we were going.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
where I went there because she went there, and I don't know that I ever thought of any. I don't know that I did not apply anywhere else. I only was going to go to UT, and yeah, so that was. But we did go different places afterwards. I mean, we at UT I started off. I laugh because there's no way I could have done it. But I started off as a pre-pharmacy, thinking I was
Sure.
going to go into
I
the
mean-
family business, and realized rather quickly that was not the track for me. And ended up with an art degree, and met my husband Zach there, and so that was it was a great time, and I was glad to go to school with Jenky at UT, and we did a lot of things together. And then after UT, my husband was in the Marine Corps, so we moved to Memphis so he can finish law school. And anyway, I'll go back to UT because whole nother story.
So you majored in art, but not so with you.
No, but I was an English major. But
Okay.
But when
So
I was
still fine arts.
fine arts. But
Yeah.
when I was in high school, maybe this was being in school in the 80s and 90s. I was either going to be in public relations or in international business.
Okay.
And that was laughable. Well, I don't even know what that is. And so I was an English major because that's what I was good at. And I don't know that I was ever going to teach, but I was really good at English, and I was a writer. So
When I was working on these questions for you guys, I got nervous because I always kept thinking about that, and I was like, if this grammar is not good, she'll think I'm a knuckle dragger. And she's
definitely
like,
not the grammar police at all. You lose that. Not at all.
so I mean, you guys grew up in a small town, and I did as well. When I went to UT, it had an impact on me because it was different. I mean,
Yes.
for the first time in my life, I was going to school with people from different countries. You know, people who English was not their, first language at all, and you have to learn how to, which is a part of the college experience. You know, so how did going to UT kind of expand your all's worldview a little bit?
Well, it definitely was. We could have been 6 hours from home.
Yeah.
As opposed to 35 minutes from home. There was no difference. When we moved, we lived on campus the whole time. We just spent summers at home. We didn't come home. Sorry, Mom. But they didn't want us to. Like, we had the true college experience of living on a campus.
Did y'all
and
live
living
together at any point while you were in college?
1 year.
1 year we did.
1 year? Okay.
But we just got to experience a whole new town. And
Yeah.
at that time, growing up in Clinton, we didn't really have not to say, of course, we went to Knoxville or went other places, but not very often. Our lives were in Anderson County. It was much more insulated then. And so moving to Knoxville, we moved away. That was
Yeah.
away for us. And
It was an exciting life. I mean, it was fun in that you have friends now all over the country that, and what you thought you were going to do going into pharmacy and then come back home, changes quickly. And I'm thankful that we have a university right here.
yes, absolutely.
Make it
And when I went to school, obviously I was going to be in international business, whatever that meant. So my intent was not to come back to Clinton. I wasn't going to work at the drugstore. And looking back, obviously that was the perfect place for me. But when you're young, you want to go away. You want to go do really exciting
be
things.
different.
To be different. Not realizing that really the most exciting life would be to come back to the family business.
So when you guys were at UT, did you feel like that UT prepared you academically for entrepreneurship? Did you know that was the road you were going to go, or
No.
do you feel like that UT got you ready in any way for that, even though you weren't necessarily in business?
I mean, it taught us how to live independently and how to be an adult and critical thinking and all of those things that college is very important for, minus the academics. Just learning how to live and to be a person on your own. That's what I feel like it taught me. But I think our growing up in an entrepreneurial family is what taught us how to be entrepreneurs, not
So
necessarily.
watching your
Definitely.
family do it.
Yes.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So Mollie, you went to Memphis, and you already kind of talked about that. Y'all. So where did you go after UT?
I never moved back to Clinton. So I met my husband, was 18 years old, and when I graduated, we got married. I've always lived in the West Knoxville area. I've never really, except for minus our first year of marriage when I did move back to Dutch Valley.
I
which
can't.
is a
I've
really,
got that. I've got that as its own section. This
Its own
is
section.
this is the unique
Oh
family
my goodness!
lore.
Yeah,
I've
the
got
family
that
lore
one. Yeah,
at Dutch
yeah.
Valley. But I never moved back here, and we made our home in West Knoxville, and our kids have always gone to school. They've gone all the way from preschool to graduation at Concord in Farragut. So, but the majority of my life has always been spent in Clinton. I sleep there, and then I drive to Clinton every day.
It's kind of like growing up. You slept in Norris.
I
and you drove
know.
to
Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why. But I didn't move. Mollie did several times, and
Yeah, and
It was very exciting.
They came wherever we went.
Yeah, we got to go visit some really exciting places.
Yeah.
When your husband works with the government, it's hard to say no sometimes.
You don't say no. And so after Memphis, I will say, there wasn't a whole lot about the entrepreneurship that UT taught us, but like Jenky said, it taught us so many other things. But all the places that we visited and all the jobs that Jenky had prior to this led us kind of to where we were. And one of the jobs in Memphis that I took was working for Pat Kerr, and she had the premier collection of antique lace in the world, and she had Princess Di dresses, and she was a very eclectic, very interesting person.
Now, was working with her something you intended to do, or did it just kind of fall into your lap?
Well, I had a degree in teaching, and so Zach drove me to a middle school there that was hiring an art teacher when we first moved to Memphis, and it was middle school, and I remember walking, and I never really had a desire to teach, but you could get your education degree after my 4 years of art degree. For one more year, you could get your degree. So I did that, and I remember they hired me on the spot, and that's a bad sign. We have never had a teaching job before, and you go in for the very first interview, and they say you're hired. And I remember walking out to the car just in tears and be like, "Please don't make me take this job."
So did they hire you while you were still there, or did they call you?
No, they hired me right then. Right then.
I've done that before too. I chase people into the parking lot. You want this job? Yeah.
Just wait a minute. Maybe. Yeah. But so no, that was not the. I got this job through a friend of Girl State, a program that Jenky and I volunteered with for years and years. And she got me the job, and I got to work.
She was a personal assistant.
I was a personal assistant, and I got to work some events that she did, which was the Blues Ball and the Jingle Bell Ball, and some fun things like that, all leading kind of to where we are now. You don't know it when it's happening, obviously, but all those little things kind of added up.
It's interesting how you stop and turn around and look back, and you go, oh.
Yep.
And then you look at where you are, and you go, oh,
yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's but you never know that while what is it? Life can only be lived forward,
Yes.
but it always gets evaluated, retroactively, but you don't know that stuff when you're making decisions.
Yeah.
I will say though, unlike Jenky, I always wanted to come back home.
Well, that's my next question to both of you. Was returning to Clinton ever a part of your all's plan? I mean,
I wouldn't say it was. With Zach being in the Marine Corps, we could never plan for that. And I wanted to go wherever. Obviously, I loved him, and we wanted to do our life. But I think I always hoped to be back here.
When they were pulling out, so everything evolves around the drugstore. Every leaving town, every vacation, it seems like every family moment begins and ends there. And so when Mollie and Zach were moving to Beaufort, where he was going to the air station.
Beaufort, South Carolina?
Yes.
Not too far from Charleston?
Not too far from
yes.
Charleston.
Lovely place.
Lovely place. But they had, was it there? Were you going there or Memphis?
We were going to Memphis.
They were going to Memphis. Okay. For him to go to law school. And they were at the drugstore like everything is in our family. And they were pulling out. And I was like this small child. And I feel like in my mind you were hanging out of the window. I know you weren't. But it's like, don't leave. And I'm sure
hard.
she was reaching out to me.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave. That's not what happened. But
it felt like that, though. It was hard.
We always wanted her home. I was close enough to home. I was in Knoxville. I was home. Yeah. But we always, our plan was she was coming home.
Yeah.
So when you decided to come back, when life opened up and that became an opportunity, what were the emotions like for you when you're like, hey, I'm going back home?
Well, to be clear, I had 6-month-old twins, so I was exhausted. No, I couldn't get home fast enough. And Zach and I both loved Beaufort. And his time had been up where he could re-up or we could, seek other opportunities. And I couldn't get home fast enough. And it was just... But not to say that I didn't love all the opportunities in between, because I certainly did, and I wouldn't change it. But you just got your friends, your family, this community, and that's where I told you I'd cry because I'm a crier. But it's a special, special place, and it still is. Still is.
So, when you guys had lived some of your life, you'd gone to Tennessee, you'd gotten married, kids, when you came back, did you bring any new perspectives with you from the life you had led when you left to go to UT? Did you bring anything new back?
Definitely. I mean, because you just grow older and you either grow wiser or the opposite. I'm not sure where you are at that point, but you take something from everybody. Like when we lived in Beaufort, I worked for the Ventimiglia family, and I have to say, Jenky's known them for years, and they're friends too, at their business branches, and you pick up a little bit of everybody along the way, and you carry it back with you.
And I'll say coming from an entrepreneurial family, I definitely married. My husband has an entrepreneurial spirit like you have never seen. We've had a lot of ventures, and his lesson to me in some of our ventures was, okay, we can do this, but we have to have an exit plan first. So we're going to try this, but we have to immediately know how we're going to get out of it before we even start it, which I think is very, very smart. But one of the lessons from some of our ventures that we have done is sometimes you don't have to go in and change anything. Sometimes the way things are the way things are. And especially a business that the drugstore, 95 years old, we could have easily come in as little, young, smarter things coming back from school and said, well, this is really how, you
Right.
all have been doing it wrong for a very long time. Luckily, we were a little bit wiser than that and knew just to sit back and say, we've been around for a while, and there's a reason for that. You don't have to change everything.
So this question is in part of this section, but it's its own thing in my mind. So let's talk about this family tradition that you guys have. So there's a farm in Dutch Valley, I'm told, and when you guys get married, when a family member gets married, off they go to this farm, right? So can you explain that? What's up with this?
This should be a lot more exciting than what
I know,
that sounds.
it's really not that exciting. The way
it works out.
The way it works out in our family is apparently when you get married at a very young, 20-something, you're broke. It happened to our parents.
Yep.
It happened to Daniel and I, and it happened to Mollie and Zach. I mean, you just don't have any money the way it's supposed to be when you get married. You have nothing. But what we did have was a family farm with a cabin. So there you go.
Yeah. So Mom and Dad, when they first got married, they lived at the cabin. And I don't know how long they were there for. And then Jenky and Daniel got married, and it just so happened, this is not planned. This is just how it's happened.
We needed to sell we needed a place to live.
Yeah. So they lived there, and
Yes.
was it a year?
It was a year.
And then when we lived there, Zach had not been sent off yet for the Marine Corps. So we had, I think it was like 8 months. And we had needed a place to live and in between places. So we lived at the cabin. But I do like to say it didn't have heat and air for Mom and Dad or for Jenky and Daniel.
Or what else? Water.
Or water.
Oh, you had to pump your.
It came from a reservoir off the mountain down through the pipes. There was a water heater, but it was reservoir water.
Yeah.
And no heat and air.
Yeah.
So this
you had
is
a
kind
fireplace.
of this is like a matrimonial boot camp of sorts.
I mean, maybe it is. That's the key.
Yeah.
Maybe we should make
maybe there's a
magic in there.
method to the madness.
Maybe. Well, except for Dad put heat and air in for before we moved in.
When the youngest then had to move in, he was like, "This is
youngest. It's the privilege of being the youngest."
Jinky and Daniel can handle it. They were fine. They were strong
that
people.
fits the personality.
So is it a set year, or is that just what happened?
That's just what happened.
So everybody does a year.
That's how long it takes for you to get on your feet, apparently, when you don't to start making some money and be able to at least rent a place on your own and not live.
What a gift!
So is there any? If your girls should see this, should they be concerned? I mean, is this?
I think they should. We should put it in writing. I think it should be a thing.
Yes, but now the evolution of the cabin has
it's a little different.
It's a little different now. It's had some renovations. It has us modern
And some
conveniences of
Oh,
water.
so it's
and-
not quite the same.
No,
it's not quite the same. No.
Not quite the same.
Yeah.
But Dutch Valley, I will say for our family, is a very special place.
Yeah.
We had started our grandfather, his home place, he was born on Old Dutch Valley Road. The home place is still there, and we spend holidays growing up, Easter, Thanksgiving, just summers in Dutch Valley. And there's
The whole family.
The whole family. Great people. Can't believe that there's a place that's still like that, so close to town. It's just, it's a great place. We love it.
I want you to know when I met with you guys first, this is the story that I went home and told my wife. You're not gonna believe this, and she's like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah." Apparently, it's a rite of passage. Like if they got to go hack their way out of the woods,
And we
and
did hack our way out of the
Actually,
woods. There were
yeah.
some terrible storms
And-
that year, and we,
Yeah.
I mean, no one
We
had
did.
heard from us that morning, and I guess they came with chainsaws, and there was no phone. We
No,
would
it had a landline, but
during
not
the
a-
storms.
yeah, oh, yeah, the phone
no
went
phone,
out,
and
yeah.
so thankfully people know where you are, and they come and cut you out. Like it's
Yeah.
remote.
this is
It was remote.
this is
Remote.
interesting. I like this. I mean,
It's a great hideout.
yeah. I mean, like that is a.
We would
You
tell
should
you-
continue at that. Yeah. You should go unplug all the stuff and make your all's daughters go and live there. I think
They'd
that'd
actually
be great.
probably like it.
It is our compound, we call it. So
Yeah.
it's
our retreat.
it's our retreat.
We know where to meet up.
Yeah, we all know where to go.
So you mentioned the word, Jenky, a second ago, entrepreneurship. So let's go there. When did the idea of starting your all's business? How did that start? And was there a business plan? Was it how did that happen?
Mollie and I had both, she had come back from Beaufort, had worked in this wonderful shop there with the Ventimiglia family, like she talked about, and they did holiday and permanent florals, and we would visit their shop often, and just as a family fell in love with the people there and what they do. Then Mollie and I had, when our girls were babies, we had the opportunity to do some work with scripts, and so we were freelance workers. We did a lot of set design and food design and hauling and schlepping, as we like to call it, really hard work.
Yeah.
But we really got our feet wet and learned that we loved to work together. That was really the first time that we had worked solely together.
Yeah.
And that we loved design, we loved beautiful things, and we loved holiday, obviously. And so we had the opportunity when the drugstore, we bought this new building where the hospital supply could move from Market Street over to Main Street. And it was Mollie's idea. I think it was simply a phone call, and she said, "Hey, we're going to help them move the medical supply out of the store on Market Street, and we're going to move our things. We're going to move some Christmas in." It was around Christmas.
Yeah. It was right a week before the fall festival. And
And it happened like
quickly.
Like as quickly as that, because our conversations are never very long.
Yeah.
No, there was not a business plan. Of course not. That's not
Yeah.
how we
works.
would do things.
Yeah.
And so we were helping Mom and Mollie with hospital beds and wheelchairs out of the back of the store, and we were moving Christmas trees and floral in the front of the store. And that's how that all
And y'all
happened.
didn't hire anybody to help with this. This was
Oh,
family
absolutely
people.
not. This was
No.
just our deal, and we're still a part of the drugstore. So it's not really like, we're just thankful that maybe they were so busy and with their own things, they were like, they didn't pay attention to what we were doing in the front of the store with moving
Yeah.
these things in. But what they did know, I think by this point is that Mollie and I were not going to go into any type of the medical field. We were not going to be a pharmacist. We were not going to do hospital equipment. Our mother is brilliant at that. There's no way we could compare. We could not do what she does. And so thankfully, they allowed us to do what we were good at and that what we wanted to do, which was the non-life-saving part of Hoskins Drug Store, which is Hoskins in the Flat.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, were you scared? I mean, when you went into this and because this is this is a question that I asked when we had Lisa Harrison Smith and her husband David on, which, by the way, might have been the only Storytellers show that we thought was going to be rated
Well, we can see that
PG-13.
she
Yes.
means
But
well.
that was Exactly. It's all Lisa.
It makes for good TV.
When she got to the part about seeing David playing basketball with no shirt on, Ryan was back.
I felt like I needed to turn it down for a minute.
Exactly.
I felt like I was intruding on a
things were
personal
getting a little
moment.
steamy there. But one of the things I asked them, and I want to ask y'all too, was on that day, when the day comes that you're going to open, and you stick the key in the door to unlock it for the first time. Like, are you scared? Are you nervous? Are you excited? I mean, what's happening?
You're all the things. And you're like, are people going to come and see us? Are people going to buy our
We
things?
thrive. I think we do our very best work
Under pressure.
and just we just knew. And we had an exit plan.
That's what I was about to say.
We were
We
not
just-
solely responsible for this.
Yeah.
We didn't own the building. We were lucky. The drugstore, still owns the building. We didn't
Yeah.
own that. We didn't have. All we had was the pressure on ourselves, and
Which was enough.
which was enough because we wanted to make our families proud. We wanted
Yeah.
to make Market Street proud. We didn't. We wanted to add something to it. But I don't think we were moving so fast. We didn't know.
Yeah. And there wasn't
How
a
to be
big,
nervous.
there was not a big picture. There wasn't, we didn't have a plan to buy the building beside us or to use the park or like that was never a big, we didn't have a 10-year plan.
It was moment to moment. It was season by season, holiday by holiday.
Yeah. And your kids are young, so you have to be flexible. You have to be able to work with them. They come, do the things that we did growing up. And, our husbands are so supportive, never said no, never, so it's easy to take those steps and those risks when you've got such great support.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Well, so do you think, like, being around your parents and seeing how they ran the drugstore, did you think that prepared you for your own entrepreneurial ventures?
100%.
100%. And then having dad. So dad was he was a banker his whole career, and so who knew that we would marry people with jobs,
Yeah.
And then where the wife was working in a family business, but that's exactly what we did.
Mm-hmm.
And so watching how
The work, I think I was thinking about this. I mean, our work ethic didn't just come from Mom and Mollie. I mean, we went to work with Papa. Do you remember that?
Yes.
He was superintendent of schools, Anderson County Schools, and we went to work with him. Our Meemaw Birdie, she taught school at Daniel Author, and we went to work with her. And, we saw on both sides of the family, just, the work ethic, which you have to have if you're going to open a business. You're the one that's responsible for everybody that's walking in the door, what everybody's jobs are, what's going to be sold. The responsibility is yours, but it was not going to be for lack of hard work because that's what we saw growing up. And that's all we know. I mean, that's what we know to do. And I think it's appropriate. Like we love our family, and bonus, we get to be with our family while we're at work. So it's not,
Yeah, and double bonus, our kids get to come to work with
Yeah.
us.
Your all's
And
family
so-
tree roots just expand into so many things. I mean, into the school system, the drugstore, what you guys are doing, but there's law, and I know we were talking about kind of aside from this, like some of the things your all's kids are getting into. I mean, like the roots just go a lot of directions.
Yeah, you talked about Meemaw, so our dad's mother, Bertie Bostick. That we talk a lot about the Hoskins Drug Store and about the Hoskins side of the family, but like you mentioned, going to work with her at Daniel Author and being in the classroom with her as she taught. Freddie was in her class, was one of her
Oh, okay.
students. There were a lot of people in town that you would know that were in her class, and I know she was our grandmother, but she was beloved. I know that she was by the people that she touched. And so we had a love for the school system, not just, we had the business part of it, we had the school system part of it. I think all of that is, we had a love for the whole community. Like we got a perspective of the whole thing.
Yeah.
A lot of that influence in our lives.
Yeah.
Well, let me do this, because I think sometimes when people look and they see successful businesses, I think sometimes they can look at it and say, well, you know, they're just fortunate. Everything they do, but every decision you guys have made hasn't been a grand slam. I mean, there's been mistakes along the way. So, talk about some of the lessons you've learned as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, where you go, not going to do that anymore. You know, what were some of those?
Well,
I'll let you go
I
first.
remember when in between, before we started Hoskins and the Flat, Jenky had an amazing business at Magnolia Manor and events, and I would help her I would help her some, but she worked really hard at doing weddings and events and florals and all of that. That was another stepping stone to where we are now. But I mean, how many years did that last? And then
it's like 7 years. Why 7 years seems to be like the magic number of maybe how long you can your body can tolerate a very physical job, or maybe it's the next step happens after that amount of time. I'm not really sure, but during that time is where we both learned, and she was very much a part of that as well. But I think that if you ask either one of us, our biggest gift in life, we're haulers. We're able to. We're movers of things. I think
if you can move heavy boxes, you can do anything.
That's right.
I feel like
I feel like, and that's always been what we brought to the table. We can move things around. We can.
And we are good at pivoting. We have, when COVID hit, we had to, we didn't have we had a website, but it wasn't much of one. And so we grew from that. We bought pumpkins and hauled pumpkins into the park beside us and tried to sell pumpkins. They were beautiful and families enjoyed them, but they didn't buy the pumpkins.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was,
and they were
for
heavy.
us, that was a lot of money, like you invested in that. But even though that didn't work out financially for us, even the failure seems to be a success because, I mean, the number of people that we got to see that weren't getting out that during that period of time, that's pretty special. And so I think even though that didn't business-wise work out, it did work out in a lot of other ways.
I think, like you said, the mistakes or whatever didn't work, they really weren't mistakes at all. They did work because all of our decisions have been based on getting people in. If you're in retail, you want people in your store. And so thankfully they have come, and maybe it didn't, it wasn't a financial reward, but the reward of having feet in the door was worth it. So I think you have to know that you have to pivot, make decisions very quickly, and move on to the next thing that may or may not work.
Yeah, don't drag your feet. Just
go, do it. Yeah.
Well, you brought up the word community, and I want to go there. But before I do, something that has really stuck out to me as we have sat and talked about your all's journey, there's two things that really stand out to me with you guys. And one is family, because you guys are thick as thieves. And but two is optimism. You guys, like when we met and I talked with y'all, like just what you said, like you like when it comes out of your mouth, like this wasn't a bad thing, even though it didn't go the way that you may have wanted, you were able to find positive from it. Well, it didn't go the way we wanted, but we learned this. It didn't go the way we wanted, but we met these people, or we got this idea. I think those two things are key for successful people is to having that support network, which you guys do with your families, and then being optimistic. The idea that, even things that maybe don't go the way you intended, there's something there. I mean, do y'all see that in yourselves?
Well, one of the worst things in recent memory is COVID, obviously, and so we had the opportunity. I guess it was the expectation that the flat did not have to go on. It was fine, but the drugstore did have to go on, and so even as horrible as that time was, there are some really great memories, things that we would have never planned, but that happened out of that. And that was that Mollie and I stopped what we were doing. We locked the doors on Market Street, and we went to the drugstore and worked with our mom and Mollie. And one fountain person came and worked that time, and we had that special time together under a really terrible circumstance that no one would plan for a business, but we were able to find the good in it.
Yeah.
And I actually have really fond memories of that time.
And one thing that is at the core of everything, and, we just have a tremendous faith, and that is what leads us. And
Yes.
so there's no mistakes because, God's laid out this plan, and we're just, doing the muscle behind it, hopefully, and He's going to guide our steps. So,
And we do have a very special, everybody that works for us works with us is very special. Melissa LaBelle happens to be one of them, and she's extra special to us. She is definitely a heart friend for sure, and she has always told us, well, just tell the truth.
Yeah.
Just be the truth. Just tell the truth, and no decision that you make will be wrong. And so, on a day-to-day basis, we'll say, well, we'll do what Melissa says.
What will Melissa do?
Just what will Melissa do.
when you don't know what to do.
When you don't know what to do, just do that.
Yeah.
And if you have a very simple rule for yourself, even in business, it's easy.
And you really can't. I mean, our business is people, so there's no failure. You automatically, when you walk in the door, one of our verses is, you never know when you're entertaining angels. So if your purpose is okay, I'm here for the person that's walking in the door, and I don't know what they're walking in with. So we're not going to fail as long as we keep that in mind.
Yes.
The cash register might not be going off that day, but there's a greater purpose to why we're here. So
Yeah.
I think that's why, we're joyful, we're happy. We want you to come into a happy place. So if that's at the core of it, I don't think you can go wrong.
And also in business, especially at our shop, we don't have anyone that works there that has to work there necessarily. Everyone does need.
I have to work there.
Okay, I have to work there. But the people that work with us, they come in. The majority of them, they come in and they say, "I work here now."
Yes.
And that's how that goes down. They've been customers. They've shopped in the store, and they just have this. They have a
love
feel
for
about
people.
it. They have a love for people, and they come in and just announce that now they work there, and we say, "Okay,
Yes, you do.
yes, you do."
Thank you.
Well, the LaBelles are fantastic people. I told you guys when we met initially that, for years, it doesn't happen every week, but for years, whenever I have a kid that needs glasses and can't afford it, Dr. LaBelle, I go up there and say, hey, I got this kid, and he's just bring him. And, he donates his services. He donates his time. The only thing that our staff at my school typically raises the money. All we have to do is the hard part, the frames or the physical stuff that have to be sold that people have purchased, and he sells us that for cost. So he doesn't make a dime.
They're remarkable people.
Yeah, there's a lot of kids, and this happens without people knowing, it just,
of course.
it
They
comes,
would never
it
tell.
goes.
They would never tell.
And
you
he'll
that.
probably be mad that I mentioned it, but it's just good people, It's like when somebody does something like that, I've always heard the measure of a person is when you do something for somebody that can't repay you. If I borrow $10 from you and in 2 weeks I give you the $10 back, you got what. But if you do something for somebody and like you just did it because they needed it, and that's those people. That's kind of what they do.
100%.
And they're, you wake up in the morning and you look and you go, hey, those people are my friends, so I must be an okay person, because if I wasn't, they wouldn't be friends with me. And so, having those people in your life is just huge. So obviously you guys are having that same experience. So how important was it, or is it, for you guys to be, to serve your community and to impact your community? I know, obviously in any business, you want the cash register to ring, but that's not the only thing. I got that from talking to you. How important is that, serving the community and giving back to you guys?
Well, I think it's 100% what drives us, because we've had people that have come in, customers, why don't y'all open up in Bearden? Why don't you open up in Knoxville? And that's very flattering. But we want to be in Clinton. because Clinton has been very good to us, and it's we love Market Street and the shops there, and we want to be a part of it. And you can probably say it better than I can, but
well, growing up, even sitting at the drugstore, not realizing, I think, what we had there, what the people before us had worked so hard to achieve. I looked at other businesses. I looked at the other family stores, Hammers, the Fox family, Holly Gamble, and I always I admired, because you would hear those names. They're contributing this way to the community. Look what they give. Look how they're serving, and not realizing, oh well, we we have a family business too, and I wanted to emulate that. If you have something like that, I think that it's human nature to want to be able to give back to the community. Clinton has been so good to us. Not just like, we've experienced wonderful things through the school system. We've met countless people from both stores, and we have people that come in and want donations for the athletic departments for all the schools. Of course, we're going to give that because we were a part of it. And so I think it's easy to give back to a community that you were a part of.
Mm-hmm. And
that was just a lot of nonsense I said. So
no, it was. I just was going to say, we go back to, we're good at hauling things. Well, I mean, that's a need, and I guess that's a gift. And, God gave us the gift of hauling.
When you are confident in what you're good at, it's easy to give back. And we are confident that we are good at moving things.
So when you talk about festivals and events and things like that, we put a lot of hours into it. And it's not because that's our most successful day in the store, but it's because you're going to see your family and friends, and you want them to come and experience and, have that love for Clinton like you do. Mm-hmm. And how better to do that than to dress it up, like to right. create. You want to be hospitable, and we look at it as we want to greet everyone with hospitality and love, and come down here, come spend time together, because what better way to fellowship than with all your closest friends, thousands of your closest friends and family.
We also want to show it off. We also want to show our community off. So we have a lot of visitors, especially on Market Street, that are not from Clinton.
Yeah.
And we are very proud when people come in from all over different states, way away, and are really impressed with our town. And we just want people to always have that vision.
Like, how can we give back? That's a way that we can give back.
So I imagine Catherine Birkbeck and her clan she's got her hooks into you guys pretty big.
Well, you mentioned a measure of a person. Sometimes you feel like, well, those people like me, so I must be, an okay person. So all of those people like us, and they're really good people. So.
Well, it's funny because my wife and our family, we went out for a holiday meal at some point, and my phone is just vibrating in my pocket, and Ginger looks at me and she's like, so I'll pull it out and look at it, and it's Catherine, and she said, "Hey, I heard you're interviewing, Mollie and Jenky, and they're great," and just started going on. You should ask them this because they won't tell you, but you should. And it was like it was kind of nice. I had a little inside source, and that's never a bad thing.
It's pretty awesome when you get to work where we work, because the list of people that come in the store that we get to communicate with, and the things that they're doing for Clinton is amazing. Catherine with the Main Street program, and Joey Smith. That's somebody you should interview.
I put my vote in for Joey Smith for your next show, for sure.
He just got inducted into the Clinton Hall of Fame recently.
He's pretty fantastic.
He is a fantastic person, and I'm proud to call him a friend. But he does so much work.
And those suits.
Such a benevolent.
And
he does it in style.
Yes.
He does it in style. And then we get to see Taylor Martin comes, and he works out of that window that you were talking about from our meeting, and he's working on the Timely Topics book, which talk about a gym. It is a recording. How far back does it go?
Stay tuned. Everyone needs to stay tuned to this amazing project that he is doing.
They're preserving it. Joey's preserving history, and Taylor is too, and
from the
Catherine's making it. All these people coming in and out of the store, and
on you have to
for free. They don't. This is just out of their kindness of their hearts.
And so Mollie and I will be making something. We'll be working, and it's all of a sudden you'll look over, and I'm like, is this happening? This is like, how do we get to work in a place like this? Over to the side, Lisa may walk in. You can hear Lisa obviously walk in. She makes her presence known, and we love her.
They live in my neighborhood, and I tell every time I'm walking my dog and I see them, I look at David and say, "We're praying for you," and he's like, "Thank you."
I think one day, a couple of weeks ago, in our front door walks Joey with some kind of power tool in his hand, and I don't know where he was going. I don't know what was happening.
Walked all the way through the store and back out the front.
Catherine started a tradition in the store which is precious, and I want it to last forever, and that is bringing children in after school. So we have an after school group of kids that come in every day, and they get a little treat, and then
Melissa LaBelle buys candy, and they come,
and then they come in, and all of these children tell us about their day.
About their day, and we know the grades on the grade card before their parents do, and it's pretty special.
Yeah,
I mean, that's pretty special. That might be one of my favorite things.
That's one of my
store.
favorite things too.
Well, that's kind of where we're going. So your customers and your employees, I know they're important to you. How do their stories motivate you? And you guys were starting to touch on that, so I just want to make the question official. When you've got these people that come in and you're hearing their stories, and it's happening in your shop, how does that motivate you?
It is surreal. I cannot believe that we are blessed to be able to work in a place that we do, and whether I don't know how it happened, but people will come in and they will just start talking. And it could be a hilarious story, like they have known us, like they would be very familiar with us, and we don't know them from Adam, but it's amazing, and we'll end laughing and crying with them. We have several ladies, several customers that have been so special to us. One in particular, Dottie, every time she calls, she tells us she loves us. Love you. She's a customer. Her name's Dottie.
And I love her too.
And I love her.
And on the phone, she'll call and just, "I love you, honey." We've not known her, but for 10 years now that we've had the shop, and
we've had ladies come in and they've passed away. We've gone to their funerals. We've had their families come in and say, "I remember I am such and such's daughter." Yep. Of course you are. She told us all about you. Yep. And then locals that come in, and it's just like Harper. Yep. Harper Medley Maxwell comes in, and you can't breathe because you're laughing so hard. With just
she comes
stories
from
of the
good
day.
stock.
Oh, she comes from good people. They are good people. And then when Patty comes in with her, you really can't breathe.
Yeah.
It's
just joy. It's
just joy.
Even when it's sad, it's just joy.
Yeah. I know it's going to be a hard question for you, but as you've seen your businesses, yours and the family, the drugstore, impact our community, and people have gone there for generations, and you're all businesses. What are you most proud of?
Well, that the community has allowed us to be here for 95 years. Yeah. That
it's not anything we've done. It is people that they want to come in, and not by anything that we've done, but we're so thankful that they do.
I think I'm proud that we have been able to create an atmosphere at the drugstore and at our store where people do want to come in. It's not about the business itself. I think it is about the people that have worked there for all these years, people that worked at the drugstore years ago, like Ruby and Miss Beeler and Francis in the beauty shop at the drugstore, and then now with Mary and Tiffany and Tanya on the fountain, and the people that work at our store on Market Street. We have always been, except for when my grandfather started it, now we are obviously a woman-owned business, which is only remarkable in the fact that we've also found other women that have found a good place to work where they can still raise their kids. And so that, I think, is one of the most proud things I can...
That's it. It's working with your family. Because I know that Mary for years, and now Tiffany for years, their kids come there before school. They eat breakfast. They go to school. They come after school. Caitlin comes and she brings the kids during the day. And
that's no different than how we were raised.
No.
That we were the children that got brought to work as well.
A safe place for them to come. hopefully enjoy each other. And
Yes.
So have you noticed that the circle has come around? I mean, like what y'all were doing as little girls when you were growing up, now you're providing that opportunity for other people.
Yes.
Interesting.
I'm recognizing it now.
I'm recognizing it right now. Yes. But yeah, just to be raised in a place and to now work in a place and have people work with you that it's okay. The expectation is, yes, it's Thanksgiving dinner at your child's school. Of course you're going.
Yep.
Of course you'll come back whenever you get finished. That's perfectly fine.
And it's not, nobody takes advantage of it. It's just,
you're not
want to be
miss.
at work. You enjoy work,
Yeah.
And you want to be, but
we don't want anyone to miss anything of their
No.
children's lives.
Yep.
So that's a big part of it.
So, looking ahead, what are some of your long-term visions for your business and for the community, Clinton? Where do you see things going?
well, Clinton's headed in a pretty exciting direction. So, and it has been for years. It's always been on a positive trajectory, I think. So I'm really excited with the renovations that are, when I'll be excited when they're done.
Yes.
Because that's definitely proved to be a challenge. So I think small town is special, across the country right now. And I think we have one of the very few that is weathered a lot of storms. And there's some pretty special things on the horizon for Clinton. The shops that have been here for years and years, and then there's new people, new entrepreneurs that are coming out and trying and making a home of Clinton. So I see bigger and better festivals. I see new shops, new restaurants. And as far as we go, we'll see what's happening around us and adjust and add to. And we are always learning and, trying to, what can we do next? You don't want to get bored or stale. So what is next is exciting for us. It's not, sometimes it can be daunting when you're tired of hauling, but then you start to get excited about, okay, this next season, even for the drugstore, you're 95 years old. What can you do different? How do you keep people coming back? And
Yeah, and I think as long as you have that excitement about the future, that means that you're still doing the right thing. Like you're still supposed to be there and doing what you do. It's when you have no ideas and it becomes a burden. I think that's the time to bow out. And we certainly still all of us have new ideas about how to move on into the future.
Well, let me ask you this. How do you kind of stay innovative doing the new things while at the same time kind of staying true and honoring your core values? How do you do that? Because your business has changed. Businesses change fast now. How do you do that? Innovation and core values.
You have to, number one, we are about people. So while a lot of things have gone online, and we do have an online website it's great and we're proud of it. But if you don't have people at the drugstore, at our store, it has to be people oriented. And then once you've got that, that's your base. We travel to Dallas, we travel to Atlanta, and for our side of the business, we get ideas there from other people. For our neighbors on Market Street, we see what they're doing. You look around and you see what's happening, and you add to. And
for our business especially, it's hard to not fall victim to what's trending now. Social media, but we do a good job of coming back and reminding ourselves we just do what we love.
Yeah.
We have in our store what we love.
Mm-hmm.
We're not a Target. We're not a big department store. We're
not trendy.
We're not trendy.
And there's places for that, and there are stores for that. That is not us.
Mm-hmm.
We're traditional, and we're
yes,
that's pretty good.
And for the drugstore, I'll speak for them. They, as far as being innovative, I think really their draw to continue to have people come in the door is the generations of people that have loved them with the way they've been treated and the good care and the service that they've gotten throughout the years. They're in fourth generations of families that have come and shopped the store, eaten at the fountain, gotten their equipment. Our mother especially is, when I say she's brilliant at anything home health or medical equipment, that's an understatement. She is very, very well versed and very up to date and timely. I think she'll work forever. She loves it.
She loves it, and she, Dad gets to be. He works with us, so at our store. So I just can't say enough how Mom has definitely been the definition of like, how do you continue to learn and do things. She is so. There's nobody more educated on her in the home health situation.
Now, your dad, I got to mention it, former Carson Newman Eagle baseball player.
Yes.
And it was in the Pittsburgh Pirate organization for a little bit.
Yes.
But I mean, like when I found out your dad was a baseball guy, I was hooked.
Yeah.
I mean, like I was like, wow, because I'll be going this year every spring. I go spring training and do the whole baseball week thing. So I was super impressed with that. So
he's our biggest cheerleader. I mean,
He
there
is,
can't be
and
a dad more.
he's proud of you. You could tell.
Oh, he's so proud. But he loves really nice things too. He has an eye for things that are pretty, and he loves to go around the store and say, "Oh, I love this. I love it." And then he'll I really love this. I love this.
You made this?
You made this? Did you make
Did
this?
Jenky make that?
Who made this?
He's just so proud.
Well, let me ask you guys. I've been asking a lot of questions about like focusing outside, but let me ask you a personal question for both of you. How do you feel this journey that you all have taken and what you're doing? How do you feel like it's affected you as a individual, like inside yourself?
Oh my goodness.
Oh gosh. Well, I guess I'd have to go back to, so you get closer with people when we opened up the Market Street store, Hoskins in the Flat, I became closer to my neighbor, Melissa and Frankie Hughes, who are tremendous friends and faithful people. So as far as like my walk with Christ has grown stronger because of this store. And then you bring in Melissa LaBelle. I'm a crier. I told you it's like crying before, but I can't. There's nothing more important. So
Yes.
I honestly think it's just your faith grows stronger.
It does. And then you'll agree with me on this. You're just not thinking this through. But we've always loved to entertain in our homes.
Yes.
We've always loved to have lots of guests. We love to cook. We love to decorate, obviously. Like to make a very inviting home. And for years, for always, it's easy to think, well, it's not important. I'm just love to have people over. Yes, I'm cooking a nice meal. I'm just cooking a meal. But being in this kind of business, hospitality business, you realize that really is something special that you're sharing, that is important. To be able to share a beautiful home with someone, to be able to cook a beautiful meal, to have your neighbors over, for people to want to spend time at your home. So our customers come in and they're wanting to buy those things to make their homes beautiful and welcoming. And so it really changes your perspective. Like, this is really important. This is actually a really important part of life. It's just not making someone's house pretty. What they're doing by providing a meal is important. It's a way of fellowshipping with others, which is just the best thing in life.
That's why she's the English major, the art major. That's exactly what I wanted to say.
Well, I have two more questions for you, and to an extent, I guess you've answered it kind of broadly through the whole interview, but y'all have done a lot in our community. What are you most proud of? What are some of the things that y'all have accomplished that you're most proud of?
Well, anything that we've done has been with 20 other people, so I couldn't say there's anything that we've done, but I can think of things we've helped with. And probably my most favorite thing that we did was Bloomsday.
That's my most favorite thing, community thing that we've been able to do.
Yeah.
Together was that.
But
that
was
festival.
not a Jenky and I thing. That was a lot of people, and that made that happen. And it was tremendously special.
It was the spring of COVID. No, the year after.
Yeah. It was.
It was the first festival that really happened in Clinton after everything was shut down.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it came. It was going to be a springtime festival, an Easter festival, and but Catherine Birkbeck, a lot of people had a big hand in it. The parents were not able to go into the schools to see the kids' performances, to see their artwork. There was nothing, and so we wanted to be able to do something outside where everyone could come in and do these things again.
And we walked out at one point because we were working the festival. We walked out and turned around the corner in the park there and hearing the choir group sing.
Oh, the
Oh, it
choirs
just
from the
took-
schools, from the high schools, and we were older.
I feel like the cloud had lifted.
The cloud had lifted.
You know, like it was.
And
okay.
they were singing so loudly and so beautifully because they had not been able to they had no audience. And the parents were around, and where maybe a year or two before, if that same performance had been happening, it might not have had the turnout that it had, but everyone was just so anxious to celebrate everything that they had not been able to celebrate for a long time. And so the artwork of all the children was in all the windows at the businesses down Market Street. Every performer,
and it grew into Mosaic, which is the event.
it
now.
was just the event now, but the dance studios came out. All of it was just the
the
biggest
pie eating contest.
pie eating contest.
I mean, how amazing is that? What
Again,
town
we're
has
telling
a
you,
pie eating
we're not
contest?
saving lives here, but we are providing joy. You know, with
I don't know if it's for our own entertainment.
Maybe in a way, maybe you are. I mean, because there's more to life than just living.
the jazz band that was out, and it was beautiful. It was just the biggest community event, and
There wasn't a number in terms of number. It was more local people, which you know.
I will tell you on the front end, the planning of it. There's always a lot of clapping. We do a lot of clapping when we have a good idea. Yes, and we clap, and so
that's going to be brilliant.
that's going to be brilliant.
And
I'm
sometimes
sure-
it's totally
and
not.
sometimes it was a
It's totally
terrible
not
idea.
brilliant, but
But the planning of all those that helped that year with that festival was almost as fun as watching it itself.
Yeah,
because we were
there's
just so excited
lot
of
of
what
laughter.
it could be.
Well, here's my last question for you, and I ask this with almost every person because I find it fascinating, the responses. You guys have done things, you've taken risks, you've accomplished things. If you could go back to that 16, 17-year-old kid in high school, Clinton High School, and say, hey, Jenky, hey, Mollie, what would you say to them, to your former self, with the experience and the things that you know now?
You want me to go?
you go.
I would definitely say the world is big, but don't discount coming back home. There, you can have a wonderful life. You can do all that you want to do within a family business, within the community that you grew up in. There's you don't have to leave and meet new people. To find your future, come back. There's something special about being around people that have known you your entire life, that drove you around your town in a car when you were little. Just something special about, if you ever have the opportunity to work in a family business, and this is, I guess, my advice to others. If you're wondering if you should enter a family business, and think it might be too small for you, I encourage you to think again. There is a space for everyone to come back and make their mark doing that.
Yeah,
Right.
I like
That
it.
was a lot of nonsense again, but you go ahead and clean that up for me.
I just think I would tell myself, keep in touch with your friends and make sure that you are active in their lives throughout, as you all go off and do and experience new and great things. Just keep in touch with your friends, because more than likely you're going to see them again, come back to your town, and continue to develop those relationships. I have not done a tremendous job at that, and I wish that I had done better. But seeing people come into the store, you can reignite those relationships, because we are a small town and their families are still here and our family's here, and what makes it great is the relationships that are here. So I would, make that phone call. I don't know if we're still friends or not. Like make the phone call, stay in touch. My husband is such a great example of that, and he has 45 best friends, and I truly believe he does. And so I think that's important, because at some point you're going to see each other again, and sometimes not in the best way, at a funeral or at a reunion of some sort. But that's probably what I would tell myself.
Ladies, thank you all so much for coming in and doing this. I appreciate you, because this was hard, because I called you guys in the middle of the holidays when you guys are bumping. I mean, your business is going on. So, and this is actually technically our December show. We started this in December, wrapping it up in January. But thank you all for coming. Thank you for doing this. I appreciate you guys were, Ryan and I have people email us and say, hey, you should talk to these people. You should talk to these people. But you guys were, obviously I heard from Catherine. Alvin Taylor called me and said, you need to talk to those girls. And that's what he called you, those girls.
We love Coach Taylor. We love Alvin Taylor too. So we didn't shout out to him either, but his episode was fantastic.
Yes. I mean, I could still be sitting and talking with Alvin, and it would be great. And I asked him, y'all mentioned Freddie earlier. I said, Alvin, what do you think if we did like a Freddie episode? He goes, I think the FCC would pull your license. And I said, well, that's a good point. But Alvin did have a part of his where he told a lot of Freddie stories, and they were fantastic.
He kept it clean.
He did, and to this day, one of my favorite moments in the whole Storyteller series so far has been Alvin said, people tell me all the time, hey, that's a really nice thing you're doing for Freddie. And he goes, which I don't understand it, because Freddie's my friend.
Yes,
I was like,
that was my favorite part of it.
I almost started crying, and I had to kind of dry it up, but it was fantastic. Well, thank you, ladies, for coming.
We
I appreciate it so much.
Yes, we appreciate
you guys, what you don't know, you are the last episode of season 1. We have done an episode a month for a year, and you guys are episode 12. So when we start in January, whoever our January guest will be, they'll be the first episode of season 2.
Congratulations on season 1. That's exciting.
Season 1. DVDs coming your way soon, right, Ryan? Well, maybe not. We'd like to thank Jenky and Mollie for coming in for our December episode of Storytellers, which you won't see it until January. But you can find it on YouTube, on the ACTV YouTube site. You can also see it on ACTV. If you have any suggestions for Ryan or I for a person to interview, you can email Ryan at ryansutton@acs.ac, or you can email me at dleach@acs.ac. On behalf of Ryan and these two fine ladies, thank you for tuning in. Tune in again in January when you'll hear another episode of Storytellers.